distance, I'm doing lightning damage, and familiar for fire. So familiar gives me the damage increase, and then it flies around and it does fire damage. So then I get, you know, like all 4 elements and get avatar state or whatever. And I'm running deflection and diamond skin for my 2 main mouse button moves. So I'm constantly popping deflection, and it gives me a bubble that lasts for like a second. But if I'm constantly popping it, like I constantly have like a second bubble, and then I keep diamond skin up for like when I do big pulls or bosses or whatever. And so this is my survivability, is these 2, and then these are all my elements. And then I got like audacity, galvanizing ward, power hungry, and elemental exposure. And the way I have it built is like I just spam meteor, and it reduces the cooldown on my teleport. So then it teleport will be up, and I just like boop, port to the next mobs, and then I spam a bunch of meteors, and it reduces my cooldown. So then I'm like boop, pop to the next one. How do people use? Oh, you gotta hold shift. Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of tricky. It's like a lot of spells, when you hold shift and hit the left click, it'll stop you and it'll use the spell. Well, you can do that too. Like if I'm just clicking it, it's like moving me around like what the hell. But if I hold shift and do it, then it casts whatever spell I'm using. It stops and casts the spell. So like I'll just like port around, do a bunch of shit. Or like I usually do it right before I go into a group. I'll hit like left click, I'll hold shift for a sec, hit left click, and then poof, go in and just start spamming meteors and like walk back a little bit. And so I also have the thing where if I'm like not damage, I'm showing the gear too. And I'm like, I got super lucky, dude. I got the staff, primal staff, and so I'm running the meteor. Lesser enemies are now lured to your impact areas. Meteor damage deals 50% increased damage on consecutive hits to the same target, and it stacks up 10 times. So that's an increase of 500 damage to the meteors as it stacks. I got the boots. I'm running increase the damage of meteor by 600%. When your meteor hits 3 or few enemies, the damage is increased by 868%. I was running the headpiece, but I think I have that in my cube now. So in the cube I have the headpiece, the Mempo Twilight Meteor Shower rune is now applied to all cast a meteor and deals 400% increased damage. And then I'm also running the other staff that I was using, the Grand Vizier, reduces arcane power cost of meteor by 50%. I'm using ice meteor, so or no, that doesn't matter. Arcane is like mana in this game. Blah, what I'm saying. And this increases it by another 400 damage. So my meteors are like super strong, right? So I'm getting 400, 400, 600, or sometimes 868. Another 500. Anywhere I could put meteor damage. I don't think I got many rolls of it. What am I running for rings? I'm running these because they're the 2 primals I got, so I was able to upgrade them. It just drains life from enemies around you, and since this build is kind of like, it's not in the mist, but you have to be like near them for lightning to hit and stuff like that. So it just helps. I'm running Ice Blink, so your cold skills now apply chill effects, and your chill effects now slow enemies by 25%. So now my ice meteors are also chilling and slowing, which allows me to get more damage on things that are slowed, right? And then enemies that I chill have a 10% increased chance to critically hit. I'm also running Bane of the Trapped, which is increased damage against enemies under the effects of control impairing. That's the one I was talking about. So chill is allowing me to get another 50-something% damage. And then I gain the ore that reduces the movement speed of enemies within 15 yards, and that's kind of where I'm trying to be with enemies, right? So it allows me to kite a little better. And then, so on my other ring, this one's actually kind of really important with this build, because you take 80% less damage for 5 seconds after your storm armor electrocutes an enemy from more than 15 yards away. So as long as my lightning's hitting and I'm standing somewhat away from the mob, I'm proccing this, and I'm also taking 80% less damage. I just changed this bracer setup because I wanted to see how much more damage I can push, but a lot of times I'll run, like if I'm feeling squishy, I'll run the increased potency of your shields, because that's just survivability. Stack as much crit damage and crit hit as you can get on anything. That would mostly be like jewelry or wrists or whatever, but sometimes you get it on gear. And stack the highest intel gems you can, and the green in your weapon. You can run ability cooldown, the blue one, if you want in this. I run experience because, you know, I started late, I guess. It's only been like 3 weeks or whatever for me. I just recently bought the expansion. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much the rundown. And then so the maintenance of the build is you go in, you make sure your shield is up immediately, your storm armor, because if it's not up, you're dead already. You'll get one tap. Storm armor up, companion out, and out of habit, I tried to hold shift and click this other bubble constantly, and then boom, just fucking start porting around, port into a group, and then start spamming ice. But I also spec'd, I like this one, chance to hit on enemies or whatever, to pull them in. So I'll go in and I'll hit, and after like a second or two, whenever it procs, you'll see them all just get sucked into the middle, and then I just stand to the side of that and just spam meteor, and it kills everything, dude. Alright, I guess the follow-up question is, the magic weapon plus diamond shield plus HOK really necessary for survivability? I mean, it is for me. I mean, without it, it's hard not to get one shot at higher tiers. Like I just cleared like 125 earlier, and like there's moments where whenever my shields are down, I'm a sitting duck, dude. Like there is like if I'm forget to do my shields, I'll take a hit and watch my health just go whoop, and I'm like, oh shit, and I'm porting and hitting my potion and my bubble and all my survivability cooldowns. And the reason I think it's necessary for this build is because I'm porting into the middle of groups. Like you could port through them, but usually it'll be like they'll all get sucked into the middle, and that to me is like a perfect time to port in, get arcane damage on them, trigger a bunch of arcane meteors, spam them with the ice, trigger more ice, and the fire little thing will be hitting them because I'm close. I just feel like it works because you hit it right before you go in, and then by the time you're in and hit the arcane, you can hit it again and you're out, and you're like nothing, no damage. Typical mage, you know? You wear some kind of protective magic bubble shield of some sort. And this is Blizzard, so if you ever played WoW, their mage buffs are all about bubbling themselves with like frost armor or some shit. How do you regain arcane? One, I just have like a ton of regen. So as I'm spamming it, like I'll run out at times, but all I have to do is pretty much stop casting for a second and it just kind of comes right back up. So like I'll port away for a minute, hit my bubble, and just kind of like stand like this far away from the mobs, like from me to you, and just do like this little thing, and then the lightning will be hitting and I'll be getting all my stuff back. And then also, I don't know if you're doing your altar, but your altar has some perks in there, where I have that perk where every time I critically hit I get mana back. So I only recently got that, so this does work without it, but now that I have it, it's like mana ain't even an issue, dude, because I'm creating like all kinds of stuff. Did you need to see like what else I spec'd into them, like deflection, crystal shell, power storm, or whatever? I'm gonna leave this up for a second. I'm gonna use the bathroom before we start the next one. And what's your gear and stuff look like? If you want, also, I have Discord if you want to get in here and chat. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds. I hate that one. Tab back in and character walks off. Alright, I'm ready. You ready? Hey. I know, I'm just playing, dude. I don't know. You probably don't drive a Bugatti, you know what I mean? Come on. Come on. You ready or what? Let's do this shit. I'm gonna give you the prompt. Keep your bubble up. What are you running, storm bubble? You got that storm bubble? It's lit. Watch out for those fucking fireballs. Definitely want a shield for that. Ooh, I'm gonna leave right out the gate. 25? Okay, dog. Show off, bro. Shit, dude. Who you with, dude? You rolling with someone that's like geared for 150s or something? Doing that shit solo. Solo wizard, 125. Okay. I see you, dude. I see you. Oh shit, bubble, bubble, bubble. See what happens? See what happens when I don't keep my bubble up? I almost died. Otherwise, I'm just pouring into violence and spreading awareness with my magic ice balls. My blue balls. My giant blue balls. That one's for you, that's Zach. Oh shit. Ooh yeah, get out of here. This shit. That bubble ain't gonna save you from those laser beams. Nothing saves you from those laser beams.